What's up? Black men have to cleanse the black community of all forms of assimilation to their enemies. Identity. You are a black man trying to self improve and gain a grounded identity in being a black man. I have a deep dive guide on all the things of learning who to look up to in black history, eating healthier, becoming more financially literate, having a more calisthenics based workout, and also learning to come together with black men on a week to week basis to self improve and gain that grounded identity in being a black man. If you're a black man and you're interested in being the strongest version of yourself, because that's what the black community needs for us to win. The link for that will be in the bio section of my YouTube channel. Just click on my channel and you'll see the link in the bio section. Click on that, internalize that, and be the strongest version of yourself as a black man. Now, when we start to look at assimilation and how this heavily plays on the identity of black people and black men, and why we have to cleanse the black community of that. And now this is a video I know a lot of people may not like because it pushes against what's normalized, right? Let me give you an example of something that's normalized in the black community, and it's a quick form of it's something you can easily identify as assimilation. When you see a black woman wearing straight hair or she's wearing a blonde wig, I've seen girls that are beautiful, but they are wearing they have a bleach blonde wig and they have dark skin, right? And or you can take away the blonde, they just have straight hair or they're straightening their hair or they're doing all these things to make their hair not what it is naturally, right? That's one example of assimilation and not putting your natural features as the standard. Another form of assimilation, which I know a lot of black people are not gonna like because we're heavily religious. I think we have to break away from the traditional sense of Christianity. Now, is this me saying to not believe in God? This is not me saying not to believe in God. This is me purely saying we have to actually look at things in a logical mentality to understand that, okay, our enslaver gave us this religion. Our enslaver not gave us, they forced this religion on us. If you have a Bible and it says King James Version on it, then that's a huge indicator that you got the Europeans version of Christianity. That's the Christianity you got, right? And I know it's a lot of black men who maybe watch me and they believe in God and stuff. And these are things that I've been developing in my head that I came to this conclusion because I used to be a very strongly based Christian person, right? But once I got, like I've said before in other videos, the more I dove into to black history and even understanding what a lot of Europeans did, you start to break away from that traditional sense of Christianity really fast because you start to see through what it is. You get out of the emotionalism and you start to see through logically what's going on, right? That was something that was used to colonize us on a psychological level, right? And so that's the thing we have to understand. We have to break away from that. We can't we can't put that as the standard of um morality or anything like that. You know. Now is this me saying that it's just all bad? No, this is not me saying it's all bad, but I'm saying it's not us. It's not something we naturally had. It was something that was forced onto us, right? And a lot of people, and I could have my own whole nother video just about this, but I'm gonna just cap it off and say we have to break off from that because it's not naturally us and it's nothing we created. It's something that was forced onto us by our colonizer, by our enslaver. That should be a simple enough reason why we shouldn't uh continue with that, right? And there's many other forms of assimilation that we have to. Those are the main two that I think we have to really look at because those are the more noticeable ones, right? But there's also we have to get outside of the inferiority complex. We have to get outside of thinking that because I'm a black man, I'm less than. You know, because I'm a black woman, I'm less than, right? And we really have to start pushing towards something that's our own, right? And we have to lean into what's real and what's true about our natures as human beings, as a black man, as a black woman. We have to lean into the things that's going to help us improve and lean into the truth, right? And through that, I really believe that's when we form an identity that is really unbreakable. This is why we see so many black people, you know, like when we're growing up, we want to say we're the real Americans. We want to say we're the Hebrew Israelites. We want to say we the the X, Y, and Z. And a lot of that is based on theology. A lot of that is based on not just theology, but a lot of it lacks like it lacks something where you can actually build a real identity off of it, right? That's what it lacks. But there's things that are true about history that have been lies before. Like black people were the native Egyptians. So I'm not just saying this to break away from anything that says we're not just American, but the goal of what the thing I'm trying to emphasize in this video is saying that we have to develop a identity that is truly ours. It's ours. We didn't copy anybody. We didn't take nothing from anybody, right? Because that's our problem. That's why we jump to wanting to be a white person, to wanting to be a Mexican person. We jump to just assimilation. And a lot of times people you see that do that, they'll never say it out of their mouths, but you can see clear as day. You get what I'm saying? And those are the people who don't associate with black people even though they're black, right? And I believe I've said in other videos that there's a lot of black people who may get some form of success, or they may rise up in life, or get somewhere where they're good in life, and they're a black person, but they just don't associate with black people, and they don't see them as people that they don't see them as their people, right? And to a lot of degree, to a degree, I can agree with that because, like I said before, it's all about being like-minded. But you have to understand what you have to love and understand the racial category you came from, and the like-minded people within that, and improve it from there, right? And I believe that that's where we really start to get somewhere, and we start to become powerful. And it's homogenous. It's all black people, right? Because that's it's just so many aspects of assimilation that we have to start looking at. And if we don't look at that and address that, black people will forever be scattered because we can't come together under one structure. There's going to forever be people over here, these black people that believe this, those black people that believe that, those black people that believe this over here, these black people believe this. That's a part of the problem, right? But I'm not saying every black person has to come together or anything. But what I'm saying is the black people who do want to win and who do want to improve, and we're like minded, we have to follow. We have to find a way to develop a identity that is centered in truth, and is centered in our nature, right? And then from there we can form something that's really us. We didn't have to create nothing out of. We didn't have to go into make believe. We didn't have to go into borrowing something from another culture. It can be something that's truly and naturally ours, and it's not self-destructive. So that's pretty much all I got to say. Peace out.